New York Times and CNN and Politico and all over the place. And also now Haps News, Haps TV. So I hope you guys are well. Uh, I'm fine. Yesterday was difficult. It was exhausting. I didn't draw yesterday because I just didn't couldn't manage it. Couldn't get the wherewithal to do it. I don't know if you guys are feeling that way, but it's no matter what side you're on, whoever you're supporting, it's just exhausting. It's democracy in action, and that's good. And there's been a record turnout, and that's good. People are voting in droves, or we're voting in droves, and people are counting the votes now, and doing it well, doing it in a sort of systematic and legal and careful way. And it's taking time, and it's just exhausting. There has been very little violence. Um, a little bit of violence in New York City last night. I don't know the details. I didn't read the article, but I heard about it. Um, and there have been protesters trying to stop the vote, stop the counting of the vote. And there's been yeah, that's about it. Not a lot of disruption, which is really great. That was one of the things I was worried about most. And that hasn't happened. It still could happen, but hopefully it won't. Hi, Pablo. Hi, Peter. Good to see you. Yeah, so I'm a little tired, even though I got plenty of sleep. I'm just mentally, emotionally tired. I don't know if you guys are, but it's working. The process is working. We've got a democracy, and doing its thing, and that's fantastic. That gives me hope. I did a drawing on election day about that, about how it was encouraging to know how many people came out to vote on both sides, and obviously we're seeing the results of that because it's a very close election. Um, it's a close election. Also, is what made me, to be honest with you, to be a little down in that I just feel that Trump is a person that promotes hate, and I thought we would be repudiating that in large numbers. But obviously, people really love him and they really want to follow him, and so it's a close race. So we have to deal with that, and we have to figure out who's going to win, and we have to count the votes. So enough talking. I'm going to turn this around and draw something for you. That's what I do here. I'm a cartoonist and a writer, and that's what I draw. I draw every day at 5:30, except for yesterday. I missed yesterday. I was too tired. Draw something that's in the news, something that I'm thinking about, something that we're talking about, something that's sort of buzzing in the air. Can I request a song by Bobby Shmurda? I don't know what that is, or who that is. Hi, Karen. I've been watching CNN all day, and me too. And your voting system is fascinating. It's all about the numbers. It is kind of fascinating. I've been learning so much watching the numbers and the different counties, and it's uh, it's a little mind-boggling. We all have numbers floating around our head now. Hi, Lucia from San Domingo. Okay, let me turn this around and draw. Yes, it's quiet here today. It hasn't been quiet. Um, that's my palette. But one thing that was in the news today was that light on this was that too many shadows. Sorry about that. Was that there were protests around different states where there's counting going on by Trump supporters, and they were saying, depending on where they were saying either stop the count, because Trump, of course, has said even before the election was over, before the voting day was over, he said you can't count votes after election day. Well, that's ridiculous because we've always counted votes after election day. You vote. Voting ends at the end of election day, and then people count the votes. So anyway, so people are protesting to stop the count. Trump is still saying that on his Twitter, which has been blocked. A lot of his tweets have been blocked today because he's tweeting false information about our democracy and how it works. So Twitter is putting a warning on his tweets. A friend of mine said, I ran into her just this afternoon. She said she thinks that if he loses the election as just an ordinary citizen, that Twitter will ban him. I don't know. It depends on how he behaves. Somebody also said today that he's gonna run in 2024 if he loses. He doesn't like to lose. Can you see what I'm drawing? Oops. So there's some people protesting the voting, and they're saying, depending on where they are, they're saying count the votes. So they want Trump supporters in, say, Arizona, want the votes to be counted because they think Trump will win. Oops. See, I often misspell when I'm drawing. I'll fix that with Photoshop. So they're saying count some votes. They want only the votes that will be helpful to Trump to be counted. But if they're in, for example, Georgia, they want them to stop counting the votes because places like Georgia right now and Pennsylvania, they are counting votes, and these votes are primarily from around the cities like Atlanta in Georgia and Philadelphia, and votes from those parts of the country favor Biden. They're more urban dwellers. So Trump supporters want those votes not to be counted because it'll favor Biden. But of course, all votes should be counted. It's a democracy. And if there's any votes that are illegal, which so far nobody has found any illegal votes, all the poll watchers are saying things are going just fine. Nothing's happened that's untoward or illegal so far. And there's lots of poll watchers, independent people, volunteers. Sorry, sometimes I can't talk and draw at the same time. So these people over here would be saying, count the votes because, don't stop the count. Sorry, stop the count. Stop the count. If there are any votes that came in that were people that voted after Election Day, those votes, of course, should not be counted. But if a vote was made, I'm having trouble spelling today. In a democracy, all votes should be counted if they are made legally, if they're made at the time they're supposed to be made. Let's see what you guys are saying. Mark says, CNN is all about the numbers, but the election should be about people. That's a good way to put it, yeah. Capitalism is falsely presented as good no matter what. Our government is in bed with corporations and wealth gap is increasing. And we are the only country using electoral college, not popular vote. yeah, I think the electoral college has to be rethought, and I don't think it is a good idea. Capitalism, I have trouble with too, but I think it works, uh, and it needs to be tweaked. Not to be glib about it, but it's true that the gap between the poor and the rich is bad, and I think that began with Ronald Reagan. To be honest with you, Karen says Trump is like a big kid, isn't he? When the game doesn't go his way, he trashes the rules. Yeah, let me put some paint on this. So we might know something tonight. Georgia is close to finishing its count. Philadelphia is far from finishing. They have a lot more votes to count, but Trump has to win Philadelphia and Georgia, I believe, in order to win. Biden doesn't have to win Philadelphia, but he should win. If he I forget what the pathways are. I've been watching too much CNN. I'm really confused about the pathways. But we've got Nevada still out there, right? And Georgia and Philadelphia and Arizona. And we may know a lot by the end of today. Of course, everything has to be verified. It will take 10 days or more to do that, to make sure that everything is okay. And the Trump camp is mounting some challenges, some legal challenges, and a recount in Wisconsin, right? Want to recount in Wisconsin? Well, that's too bright. But I take away from this a positive in that so many people are voting. Still not enough. Everybody should vote. It should be just everybody should be born with the right to vote when they're born in this country. It shouldn't be anything, you shouldn't have to register. I think you should be able to vote once you get to a certain age. Just vote. But everybody's voting, and that's a good thing. Our democracy is functioning, at least right now it is. Trump would like to screw with that. Excuse my French. He would like to mess with it, and hopefully he won't be able to. Wouldn't Trump supporters with MAGA hats want votes not counted? Well, in some states, as I was saying earlier, in some states like Arizona, they want the votes to be counted because they think Trump will win. I think that's correct. But so it's a conflicting. They just want to count votes where it will be helpful to Trump. Thank you, Margot. She says, you say I always produce intelligent commentary. Oh, thank you. I hope so. I'm just talking, and I'm just saying things that I think, and I hope it's interesting. And if it's not, you can turn me off. I'm just being honest and open and telling you what I think. I'm just one person, and I'm a tired person at that. This is tiring. Democracy is tiring. I voted every single presidential election since I was able to vote, and this is the most exhausting. Of course, the 2000 election was exhausting too, when Gore and Bush had to go to the Supreme Court. That was tiring. Also, an interesting bit of information is that the Trump camp is shall I turn this around and talk to you? The Trump camp is challenging, doing some legal challenges, and challenging the votes and asking for recounts. And what I learned today was that recounts rarely produce enough votes to make any difference. You could find like a couple hundred votes that were miscounted, or that would be the difference. And it's not enough. If in the state Trump is asking for recount is a 10,000, 20,000 vote difference, you're not going to find 20,000, 21,000 votes that are going to help your case. And that's one reason why Hillary Clinton did not challenge the election back when she lost to Trump, is because she knew that even having a recount wouldn't produce enough votes to help her win. So that's what Trump's up against. We'll see how close it gets tonight and tomorrow and the next day. I don't know. It's still possible that Trump could win. It's certainly possible. It's not over yet. We're watching the votes. So we shall see. In the meantime, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are well and safe and wearing your masks. And that's the other story, is that the coronavirus is still raging all over the country and all over the world. So please wear your masks. We know that helps. What do you think about the belief from Plato that politicians should be philosophers? And is major political restructuring possible, do you think? I don't think we need a major political restructuring in this country. We need a lot of restructuring, but I think the democracy that we've got set up, I think, with the checks and balances, works, and we're watching that happen now. Not right this second, but in this last 4 years, we've been watching a lot of checks and balances, and I've seen the checks and balances work over time in my lifetime. But I don't know about politicians being philosophers. I think you have to be able to think deeply to be a good politician, don't you? Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you guys are well, as I said, and I will see you again tomorrow. I have no reason to think I won't be here tomorrow. I'm raring to go. So thank you, stay well, and I will see you again tomorrow.